بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Last week we were talking about helping those who were oppressed on the last class that we had, and we left off with a narration saying that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, if a person requests his Muslim brother to help him and the latter does not do so, in spite of him being capable to help him, Allah would place a snake from the hellfire in his grave so that it can continuously punish him for this. And we said that this was the result of the action um, that he did in this world. So when he didn't help his brother and he was able to do so, then that action resulted in another action in the hereafter for him. It says that all good comes from Allah and all evil comes from man himself by his own hands. So we make these realities for ourselves. We, manifest these realities in the hereafter by doing something in this life. So this is one of the things of not helping the one who needs it. Then we said that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in Sahifa Sajadiyah, he said that the sin which results in the descending of calamities is when one does not respond to the call for help of the helpless people. And he would say, "Oh Allah, I plead for forgiveness for the time when someone is oppressed in my presence and I don't help him. I seek refuge in you for not helping an oppressed person and a needy person." So we see here that when the Imam is saying that he's begging for forgiveness, that for any time that someone is oppressed in his presence and he doesn't help him, it shows that doing that action is a greater sin because it resulted in needing to ask for forgiveness for that sin. So Imam is telling us that when we see someone who's oppressed, we need to help them. We need to assist them as much as we are able to do. And we said that, the assistance can be different types of ways. It could be physical, it can be financial, it can be making to offer them. There's lots of ways that we can help other people. So this is where we left off. And to continue this chapter, the author, he says, helping the oppressed is wajib. This does not mean that it is wajib only to help the oppressed believers. Because some people may say, okay, I only need to help those mu'mineen who are oppressed. He says the command of helping the oppressed in the light of the Quran and the traditions are only conditional as far as the capability of the helper is concerned, meaning it's in the person who's helping, that it's in his hand. If he can help, he should help stop oppression. It doesn't matter if they are the thing that we should stop is oppression happening. It doesn't matter if oppression is happening to a believer, to a non-Muslim, Ahlul Kitab, or someone else. The wrong action that needs to be stopped is oppression. Because if we see oppression and we let it go and we don't say anything about it, then the oppression will continue happening to those people, and it will also make people indifferent and will spread to other people. I think there's like a old story or something saying that like the cows, they saw the all the cows, they saw the black cows getting slaughtered, and they said, "Oh well, it's not us. We're brown cows, and we're spotted cows, and we're white cows. Only the black cows are getting slaughtered." And then all the black cows died, and now the next they come for the brown cows, and then the other cows are, "Oh, like it's not our problem. Those are brown cows, and we're a different type of cow." So the same thing. We say, "Oh, those are people that don't concern us," but they're getting oppressed, and then it can come towards us too. The wrong action that needs to be stopped is oppression. Doesn't matter who it's against. If we see someone being oppressed, for example, and we're able to help, for example, we see a lady and she's in the street and she's getting beat up by some by some group of people, and we're able to intervene and help. We don't say, okay, lady, I need to help you. Are you a Muslim? Are you a follower of Ahlul Bayt? No. Okay, are you at least a follower of Islam? We don't ask these things. We don't say, oh, are you a Christian? What is your faith? The situation is dire, so we have to help. It doesn't matter the religion of the person. He says, even if the oppressed people are not Shias and they belong to other groups of Muslims, it's still wajib to help them. Because some people, maybe they think, oh, I only can help a Shia. No, it's not the case. He said, even if a non-offensive disbeliever, like a non-aggressive one who doesn't have hatred, is not fighting against Islam, he's just a disbeliever, is being oppressed. The command of enjoining good and forbidding evil dictates that he should be helped and the evil must be eradicated. And so, for example, we have a non-Muslim neighbor. Maybe the neighbor is a disbeliever. It could be atheist, could be idol worshiper, could be Ahlul Kitab, could be, any of these things. And we see him getting his car robbed or something like this. We can't say, okay, well, he's a disbeliever. I'm not going to help him. We should still help him based on eradicating evil, nahi anil munkar, forbidding evil, stopping the oppression from happening. This is helping the oppressed. He said there's an incident that Mansour Dawaniki was in Mecca, and there was an expensive diamond brought to him, and it was for sale. When Mansour saw the diamond, he recognized that it had belonged to Hisham ibn Abdul Malik and should have been surrendered to him, to Mansour. Since Muhammad, a son of Hisham, was still alive, he must have brought it for sale. So he ordered his guards to close all the doors of the mosque after the morning salat and allow the people to leave only from a single door. When Muhammad ibn Hashim found he was going to be arrested and be brought to him, that's what he wanted to do. So on the next day, after the Salatul Subh, all the doors were shut and it was announced that people should leave from that, exit. So Muhammad ibn Hisham realized that they were plotting to arrest him, to capture him. So he got afraid. He looked here and there. He was worried and he didn't know what to do. And just then, Muhammad ibn Zayd ibn Ali ibn al-Hussein, so the son of Zayd, he came toward him and he asked, "Who are you? Why are you so afraid?" He said, "If I tell you who I am, will you be able to protect my life?" He said, "Yes." So he took an oath. He said, "I take an oath to remove this danger that you are afraid of from you." So he said, "I am Muhammad, the son of Hisham ibn Abdul Malik. Now tell me who you are." He said, "I am Muhammad ibn Zayd ibn Ali ibn al-Hussein." And he said, "And certainly your great-grandfather Marwan had killed my father unjustly. But don't worry, you're safe. I offered you safety, you're safe. Taking your life will not avenge the innocent blood of my father, and you didn't kill your father yourself, my father yourself." So he said, I'll try my best and save you from this. So he said, "I have an idea. I thought of a way out of it. So I need you to work with me and promise me that you'll be fearless. You'll do everything that I need you to do and just trust in me." So Muhammad ibn Zayd, he covered the head and the face of Muhammad ibn Hisham with his own robe, and he pulled him towards the exit, and he was beating him every step of the way, hitting him. When they reached the exit, he told the guard, he said, "This wretched man is a camel driver from Kufa. He had hired a camel from me, but he ran away and gave it to someone else. I also have two just witnesses to support my claim. You send your deputies with me, and I'll take him to the judge to pass judgment on him." So the chief guard ordered two of his deputies to go along with them, and they came out of the masjid together. When they had walked for a little bit of distance, Muhammad ibn Zayd, he told Muhammad ibn Hisham, "There's still time for you to do tawbah and promise to return my money. And I won't trouble these guards with taking you to the judge if you can promise me that." So Muhammad ibn Hisham, he got the hint of it and said, "Yabna Rasulullah, I promise to do as you say." So Muhammad ibn Zayd told the guards that since the fellows, this guy had repented, there was no need to take him, to the judge and make any more trouble out of it. So the guards left. So they settled the dispute between them. So Muhammad ibn Hasham, he took off the robe from his face and he kissed the face and the head of Muhammad ibn Zayd and said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew best where to place his message and that he appointed the prophet from your family. Then he took out an expensive diamond from his pocket and he requested Muhammad ibn Zayd to accept this as a reward for saving his life. But Muhammad ibn Zayd, he declined it. He didn't want it. And he said, I belong to a family that doesn't accept anything in return for a good deed. When I had already forgiven the murder of my father, what value is this diamond to me? I can't take it. So we see that this man was about to be oppressed, about to be killed unjustly. So he was able to save him through these method and able to spare his life. And he didn't look at the matter as, most of us would have done, who said, oh, your father killed your grandfather killed my grandfather, or your father killed my father, so you get what you deserve. Matter of fact, guards, come on over here, arrest this guy and go ahead and kill him. But he didn't do that. He said, I offered you safety, sanctuary, and you're going to be oppressed, so I'll help you regardless of who you are. In that, he showed him the good side from, Bani Hashim, and then he acknowledged that, you guys were better than us and you deserve the prophethood, and he saw them for, changed his point of view about them. Also, we have from Sheikh Tusi, related from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, that there was an old man from Bani Israel, and he was praying when he saw that two children had caught a bird and they were pulling its feathers. The bird was, crying out in pain, but he kept praying anyway. He saw these, two kids doing this, torturing this bird, and he didn't help the bird. He just kept praying anyway, and he didn't help the bird by, stopping the prayer, telling the kids, to let that bird go or something like that to save the life of the bird. So Imam says Allah ordered the earth to swallow this man whole. So we see here that we shouldn't only care about the human beings, but this sense of caring extends to all of Allah's creations, all of Allah's creatures, and to the animals. We should, strive to protect the animal kingdom as well as best as we can. If we see someone, torturing an animal, this is also helping the oppressed, because this animal is being oppressed in this sense. You know, it's a shame, that today, in today's time, people care, they care so much about the animal rights. If someone does anything to an animal, this is good. If someone does something to the animal, everyone will make a big uproar and a big cry that this person is oppressing the animals, is hurting the animals. But then we see that they don't care when it comes to oppressing people. We see that women and children are being murdered and massacred, and genocide is happening, and people don't care. And they even go further and support it and say, you know what, these people don't deserve to live, and we should just wipe them all out and drop a nuclear bomb on them, and this and this and that. But let someone hurt a dog or a cat or something like this, and the whole world will, go in an uproar. So it's just the times we're living in, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. But that's the thing. People view a lot of time the blood of the Muslim as nothing, lower than an animal, na'udhu billah. Humanity is sacred. We have to protect humanity. We also have to protect the animals as much as we can. As we see from here, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said that this man, he didn't stop that when he could have. He saw someone torturing an animal and didn't stop them. If we see someone hurting an animal, kicking a dog or kicking a cat or something like this, we should stop them and tell them not to do these things. And we do have riwayat that one of the ladies, she was placed in hellfire because she tortured a cat. She put the cat in the closet and didn't feed it and tortured it until it died. So she was in hellfire because of that action. And we also have another riwayat about a sinful lady who saw a thirsty dog, and she put water in her shoe in order to give the dog water to drink so that the dog can continue to live. And due to that act of kindness, Allah bestowed His mercy on her and forgave her for her sins. And she could receive Jannah because of that action from being kind to the animals. So oppression, we usually look at it as only as for people, but it also extends to everything that Allah has created. He says a large number of traditions have reached us that emphasize the necessity of helping the believer and the rewards for that. One of these is Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He said, one who responds to the cries of his believing brother in difficulties and makes him glad and happy and helps him and fulfills his needs, then 72 thawab or bounties become wajib for him from Allah. One of these will be given to him in this world so that it can solve his worldly problems, and the other 71 are stored for him to remove the difficulties in the hereafter. So when we help someone who's in need, we get a benefit right now in this dunya, and we also store many benefits for the hereafter. Another riwayat from same Imam, if a person tries to fulfill the need of a believer and he completes it, Allah will write in the scroll of deeds the reward of a Hajj and Umrah, and ihtikaf for 2 months in Masjid al-Haram, and the fast of 2 months. But if the need, this is if he fulfilled the need. If the need is not completely filled, like you wanted to help, but you tried to help, but you couldn't help, or you were only able to help part of the way, then the reward of one Hajj and one Umrah is written, because the niyyah is there. It's important that we have the intention, qurbatan ilallah, to seek nearness to Allah, to help someone in their time of need. Allah will reward us for the intention. He also mentioned that one of the revelations to Nabi Dawood alayhi salam is that when one good deed of one of my servants reaches me, I will grant him paradise. Dawood asked Allah, Ya Rab, what deed is that? He said, removing sorrow and difficulties of a believer, even if it is as little as giving him a date, just one date. If he relieves the sorrow, this maybe someone is hungry, they're fasting in the month of Ramadan and they're hungry and they don't have anything to eat, or they're looking for something, and you relieve their difficulty by just giving them one date, then Allah says that I give him paradise because of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy for us to get paradise, but a lot of times we are the ones making things difficult for ourselves. Dawood said, it is only you, Ya Allah, who is of such greatness that once a person recognizes you, he must never despair of your mercy. Dawood is saying that, alayhi salam, that when one truly has ma'rifah of Allah and recognizes Allah, uh, he will see His mercy, and he will feel that he would always be merciful to him, and he sees His mercy in everything. And we see, glimpses of this mercy when we read Dua Kumail, for example. Um, how can you burn me with fire when after this tongue has professed, Tawheed, he is from the people of Tawheed. How would you punish me and these type of things? How would you place me with your enemies? And if I could bear the fire and the torment from you, then how could I bear the loneliness, the separation from my Lord? And these type of things, we see the mercy that is encapsulated in that dua is amazing. He mentions another narration that one of the companions, he says, I was sitting in the assembly of Imam Hassan alayhi salam when a person entered and said, Yabna Rasulullah, I am indebted to such and such person. Now he wants to put me in the jail. So Imam said, I don't have any money to give you, to repay your debt. He said, maybe you could just talk to him so that he doesn't put me in prison. So the Imam, he got up and he put on his shoes and he said, uh, you know, the companion said, Yamna Rasulullah, did you forget that you are in ihtikaf and that you can't go out of the mosque in ihtikaf? Is one of the rulings. So Imam says, I have not forgotten. He's Imam. He's not going to forget this and disobey Allah. He said, I have not forgotten, but I have heard my father say that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, one who tries to fulfill the needs of his believing brother is as if he has fasted for 9,000 years during the day and prayed during the night. So he's saying that breaking the ihtikaf, was more important to do that in order to help this believer. It removed that, necessity of staying in ihtikaf. Something more urgent came, and he was able to, it removed that, and he was able to help his believing brother because that is the more important of the two. Like I said, we have ahim and mohim. One is important, and the other one is more important. So both of them are important, but one is more important than the other one. Like uh, we are forbidden to eat najasat. For example, khinzir or pig or dog or meat, the animal not slaughtered in the way of Allah. It's haram to eat these things. This is important, but when someone is starving and has no way to save themselves, and they will die if they don't eat this. And this is the only thing that they have. And if they don't eat it, they will die. That is saving the life of a person is more important. So they need to do the more important thing and eat that in order to save their life. And that won't be blameworthy on them because of the action, because saving the life is more important than committing this act that's normally forbidden. It says there's a letter of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam to the ruler of Ahwaz. When Najashi assumed the rulership of Ahwaz, there was a person in his service who requested Imam that I owe a certain amount to the ruler and he is a Shia. If you feel proper, please write to him regarding this matter. So Imam said he wrote the letter, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, please your brother so that Allah will please you. The narrator says that when the person went to Najashi, he was busy doing some, governmental stuff. When he was free, he handed Najashi the letter saying that it was from the Imam. He kissed the letter and touched it to his eyes, and he asked, "What is the matter?" He told him that he owed some taxes. And he said, "How much?" He said 10,000 dirham. So Najashi called his accountant and told him to write down his debt as paid in full, and close his account. Then he went further and said that for the following year, too, this amount of taxes should be marked as paid. Then he turned towards him and asked, Have I made you happy? He said, Yes, you've made me happy. So then he called for a horse, and a servant brought the horse, and he ordered for clothes to be given to this man. And at each step, he kept asking, have I made you happy? Are you happy with me? The man kept saying, Yes, may I be sacrificed for you? You've made me happy. At last, he told him to even take the carpet on which he was sitting, just take everything. I just want Imam said, if I make my brother happy, then Allah will be pleased with me. So because he said it was on this carpet that you handed me this letter of my master, and if you have any other need, please tell me. The man, thanked him a lot, and he returned to the Imam and told him what happened. And the Imam was very pleased with the akhlaq and behavior of Najashi. So the man asked, "Oh, my master, are you pleased with Najashi's response?" Imam says, Wallahi, Najashi has also pleased Allah, His Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt, alayhi salam. So it shows like how, we should go to please our brother, if we should always make our brother in faith happy with us and not have them upset with us for any reason at all. A lot of time we try to get our brother upset and don't care if they're upset with us or not, and but we should put emphasis on making sure that people are pleased with us. And we notice this sometimes, especially when we see people going for ziyarat or Hajj or Umrah, and they say, if I have done anything to offend you, please forgive me. Or people say this when they host someone because, they want to make sure that they did everything they could to help them, that they're satisfied. If there's anything I've done to wrong you, forgive me. If anything I can help you or do anything for you, please let me know, because they want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with them. And Allah's pleasure is linked to this action of making your brother or sister in faith happy, having people pleased with you. So when we think about these type of narrations, if we carry ourselves in this way and act on these narrations, that if we want Allah to be pleased with us, we should have everyone pleased with us. We should have people in the community pleased with us. Our community will be very good. It's one of the good steps for community building to, not be that person who, tries to rub everyone the wrong way, or, get people upset and start problems and these things. We should try to, make people pleased with us, be, a good mannered person, good tempered, where, people get along with us and we don't cause friction. And we would just want them to be happy with us. And, we want to be happy with other people. We want other people to treat us in a good way. So we should also treat them in a good way. And when we do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with us, inshallah. So I think we've run out of time, and inshallah we take a small break and come back. Salah ala Muhammad.